My name is Paul Couchman. I am the Secretary of the Surrey County Council Trade Union Group, SCCTU. This includes all the local authority trade unions, including all those who represent members working in education. We met virtually on Friday the 15th of May, and we agreed to send out a message. Only increase pupil numbers at schools when it's safe. This message is for all of you who work in schools: teachers, teaching assistants, school caterers and cleaners, caretakers, bursars, receptionists, technicians, drivers and escorts, and head teachers. Whether you work in a primary, secondary or early years setting, in a day or residential school, an academy, a private school or a Surrey school, this message is for you. This message will also be relevant to parents who are understandably anxious about the government's message about pupils returning to school on June the 1st. Our message is simple and clear. Only increase pupil numbers at schools when it's safe. We recognise the enormous pressure placed on families and school communities by the lockdown and the resulting school closures. Our members have played a crucial key role in providing continued school provision for vulnerable children and for those of key workers since the school's partial closure back in March. Our members in schools want nothing more than to return to delivering the educational, pastoral and safeguarding support to the children we work with, but only when we can be sure it's safe for us to do so, and once we are confident that protective measures have been put in place to protect us, our families and the students that we support. Grave concern is growing that this government cannot be trusted to make properly scientifically informed decisions, and its record during this crisis gives us no confidence that it can be trusted to withstand pressure from business to agree a premature reopening of schools across the UK. We expect head teachers, along with trade union reps and staff and the local authorities, to be aware of their role in ensuring the health, safety and well-being of their children, their staff and their families. We understand and share the fear of parents and of staff regarding the proposed reopening of schools. Our message is simple and clear. Only increase pupil numbers at schools when it is safe. The Office for National Statistics' latest report on deaths from COVID-19 by profession shows that almost twice as many education workers and nurses have already died from the virus. There's virtually no PPE provided in schools. Social distancing is very difficult, almost impossible to manage. Government guidance, incredibly, suggests that schools are somehow different from other workplaces and that social distancing and PPE are not necessarily required. A survey carried out by Surrey Unison, completed by hundreds of their school members in just 2 days, shows that over 80% of school support staff believe that the 1st of June is too soon to reopen and would feel unsafe going into work. Overwhelmingly, members say they're already working with inadequate or no PPE, and less than 20% have been involved in any planning to ensure the safety of staff and children in the event of a 1st of June reopening. Our message is simple and clear. Only increase pupil numbers at schools when it is safe. We endorse the conditions outlined by the main education unions, which would guarantee a safe return for all members in all schools and settings and for the children, families and communities that we support. These conditions are: there must be clear scientific published evidence that trends in transmission of COVID-19 will not be adversely impacted by the reopening phase, and that schools are also safe to reopen. Government should also be in a position to assess that pupils, parents, carers and staff are confident that this is the case. There should be no increase in pupil numbers until the full rollout of the government's test, trace and isolate policy, with testing targets consistently met over a number of weeks and case numbers falling consistently. A wider reopening before such a regime is in place would be completely unviable and would risk increased transmission levels and ultimately deaths. A phased approach should be kept under constant review, with no expectation that more pupils will return before the science shows that this is safe. There must be agreement between government, employers and unions that operational practices and procedures in schools meet minimum quantifiable standards, in particular regarding social distancing, hygiene and cleansing practices, a secure supply of appropriate PPE to all school settings to be available where required, including clear guidance on situations where physical contact with pupils cannot be avoided, and regular, robust risk assessments. Enhanced school cleaning with additional resources, subject to risk assessment and all necessary PPE to keep them safe. A phased return of pupils will be necessary, and this will need to meet tests that the most vulnerable pupils are being prioritised and that the phased approach supports maintaining a safe environment and reduced transmission levels. Governing bodies and school leadership teams should continue to make decisions to close schools in cases of local outbreaks or an upsurge in COVID-19 cases. Schools will need local data as part of the government's testing and tracing strategy. Consultation with the unions is an important step in this process, as is ensuring that decisions are taken in a way that complies with all relevant national guidance and advice on these matters. Clear strategies for safeguarding the most vulnerable pupils and staff, including those who have an underlying condition, are pregnant, over 70, or in the shielded group, and those who live with or care for anyone in those categories. These pupils and staff should be allowed to self-isolate or work from home. An assessment of the impact of wider school reopening on other key public services, in particular public transport, and the risks for increased transmission rates in that context. And a clear commitment to collective negotiations with the school unions on reopening and instances of local COVID-19 outbreaks or increased transmission levels. Our message is simple and clear. Only increase pupil numbers at schools when it is safe. Surrey County Council Trade Union Group, encompassing all the education trade unions and collectively representing all education workers, are clear that no worker should be expected to go into a school that is not safe. And until it can be demonstrated that it is safe to do so, we'll be continuing to support and advise our members on that basis. Health and safety legislation, including Section 44 of the Employment Rights Act 1996, provides reassurance to our members that they have a right to remain safe at work. The 1st of June 2020 is the date from when schools may be able to extend their opening arrangements. It is neither a fixed nor hard and fast date by which all schools must open, and there is no requirement or obligation currently on any school to reopen to more pupils from that date. If you believe your school or employer is placing you or your colleagues at risk, or planning to do so without consulting with the trade unions, without adequate risk assessments and risk management, without social distancing measures and or the appropriate PPE, please contact your trade union today. If you're not in a trade union, please consider joining the most appropriate one for your job and your school. Our message is simple and clear. Only increase pupil numbers in schools when it is safe.